Hi guys, welcome back to the Pantano podcast. I'm Ace.
And I'm Eva.
Today we'll be talking about mental health and how school can influence how you feel on a daily basis and how your mental health can affect how you do in school.
Yeah, so let's get going.
So I think the first thing we're going to talk about is how your mental health can interact with school. And personally, I've had a lot of struggles with mental health, and I know that a lot of teenagers today do. And it can really impact the way you focus in school.
As teenagers, I feel like a lot of people don't think that we can deal with mental health because of our age, but it really does affect, like, a lot of things. It can affect your school, the way you dress, the way you eat. It can affect everything you do in your life.
Yeah. And I mean, as teenagers, all we really have is emotion. Like, we don't have any sort of responsibility other than if we're on our own. Then if you're taken care of and just focus on school, then you also just have to focus on your emotions too and how you're doing mentally, because it can affect you a lot more than just in school, but outside of school. When it comes to relationships and how you feel about yourself, it can affect you in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, 100%. It just needs to be taken more seriously overall. As teenagers, our only job, I guess, is school. And if we have an actual job, obviously cater to that. But teenagers are full of emotion, and that's about it. We run off pure emotion. So it's no surprise that a lot of kids struggle with their mental health and, their own thoughts. But I feel like if people start recognizing what mental health actually is and not just, oh, someone's crying, she's probably sad. Like, if people start recognizing what mental health actually is, I feel like there could be a lot of change, especially in kids our age, because that's when things are like the most sensitive. That's when we feel everything.
Yeah. And from a personal perspective, I've been to therapy and it does help, but it depends on if it really works for you. And there's a lot of things you can do to help. And that's why it's so important to focus on it. If you're struggling mentally, it's always important to focus on that more than anything else, because it can harm you in the long run. If it's with your education or personal life, it's extremely important to focus on how you're feeling, because you can just go down the wrong road and it's not very great for anyone.
Exactly. And it's like, how are you supposed to take care of yourself, if you can't do anything else? I feel like if you're struggling with your mental health, you're already struggling with yourself. It's kind of hard for people to focus on more than one thing, because I feel like a lot of kids think, like, if I'm not taking care of myself, what can I take care of? And that's what really starts the correlation with mental health in school, because a lot of kids get their mental health problems from school. A lot of schools don't really have the support system kids really need.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah.
I've been to 3 other high schools other than Pantano, and I felt the most comfortable at this one. I felt supported, and I feel like not only just because it's a smaller school, but because teachers and students are a lot more like personal with you, and they don't treat you any differently. But any other school I've been to, I don't feel as supported or focused on and cared about. And it just made me feel kind of like in the dark. And I know that my mental health has improved significantly at the school, but compared to other schools, it just never worked for me. But it all depends on what kind of person you are and what you enjoy. But I personally just think Pantano was a great opportunity for me. What about you, Eva?
Pantano definitely is a great school, especially for kids who are struggling with mental health, because it's such a small campus. There's only so many people here. It makes it a lot easier not having to be surrounded by, other kids or other schools with thousands of kids in it. It's kind of easier just to be in a small space with people that have been through the same thing as you or something similar. You don't really feel like the odd one out here. It's kind of like a family feeling when you come to this school.
Yeah. And I know people, including myself, that have been to bigger schools, and I feel sort of a judgmental feel going into bigger schools, because there's more of a role you have to go by in a way. Either you're different, not as popular, you feel that sort of like heavy weight on your back, And it's just, you always feel looked at or judged in a certain way, and you have to find your own crowd. But at this school, it doesn't really matter. Everyone's there for their own reason, and everyone's like kind of focused on themselves or who they're hanging out with. That's what I really enjoy, because at other schools, I just never saw that.
Yeah, at other schools, I mean, with such big campuses, I can get it. It's hard to cater to all 1,000, 2,000 students. But when it comes to bigger schools, it's more of like a stereotype. There's more stereotypes. There's the popular girls. There's the athletes. There's the loners. Like, there's just multiple different stereotypes. And I feel like when you don't have to be included in a big group or a big stereotype, it lifts the weight off your shoulders, because then you can feel like you can be yourself without having to fit into whatever stereotype is in whatever place you're in.
Yeah. I used to be kind of different from other people, but that's another reason why I don't judge people that way. When I'm around others that do that, I just don't enjoy it, because that's not the way you should be looking at somebody. When you get judged by somebody, it can have a huge impact on your mental health, because you just think of yourself the way they thought of you. You see that negative comment more than all the positive ones you've got, and it's just insanely hard to deal with all the judgment and just negative feedback from others.
Yeah, no, I feel like the stereotypes definitely play into a reason of why kids have such bad mental health. And I think that's what I love the most about Pantano, because there's really nothing else that can be better here. I mean, there's support systems. We have we have resources. You could tell the teachers and students here care about each other. I mean, there's a support system that I haven't seen at any other school. I mean, I've been to 3 other schools in the Vail district, and none of them had the support system like Pantano does. Pantano's more of a family rather than just a school or a place to get education.
Yeah. If there was one thing I'd say that Pantano could do to improve, like, focusing on the mental health of the students at the schools, it would be just like making it clear that mental health is a big thing when you're in high school, and that you can find many ways to, help yourself and better how you're doing in that moment of time. Like, if you're struggling in school and it's taking a toll on how you're feeling, that there are many people to go to, or like many other options. And I think it's just good to make it aware that you're not on your own.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like in this day and age, a lot of teenagers do feel alone, because, I mean, we're teenagers. A lot of people 16, 17 years old. It's a monumental age to feel alone, because you're not like anyone else, but you're not like yourself either. You're still trying to figure out who you are, who you want to be. So I think it's really important people feel like, they have a place, and that's what we have here.
Yeah, and any mental issues or disorders or anything you're going through, it doesn't make it any less important than anyone else's. Like, no matter how severe, you're going through what you're going through, and it's important to notice that and still care for yourself. Like, other people I've seen might think, hey, my mental issues aren't as important as theirs, because they go through so much more and they have to deal with a lot more. Either it's at home or like mentally. It does matter, but it doesn't, because we're all going through our own things, and it's important to focus on whether you're doing okay or not. And that's like the big picture in high school.
Yeah, the biggest picture as a teenager is to keep your mental on the right track, to keep your grades on the right track. Your biggest job as a teenager is to graduate. And you can't do that without your mental health. So even if you don't think therapy is the thing for you, test it out. Find what you think would be fitting to help you solve your problems. Because if your problems aren't solved, they're never going to be solved.
Yeah, it's always important to focus on yourself, because if you focus on everyone else around you and care so much about that, then you're going to let yourself fall back. And it's hard to get out of a bad place when you keep going deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, thank you for listening. Please remember to like and subscribe to the Pantano podcast channel. Again, I'm Eva.
is an alcohol,
Pantano is an alcohol, tobacco, drug-free campus.
And this was Eva.
And I'm Eva. And this is Ace.
I'm Ace.
And thank you for listening to our podcast.
Thank you.